Hello and welcome to part 2 of this video about Cochabamba, Bolivia. More than 2 weeks have passed since the last video I did where I was looking around for somewhere to watch the first England game of the Euros, and I'm still here. England have since got through their group and even the last 16 match. They are going to be playing Switzerland tomorrow in the last 8 somehow. And I'm still here in Cochabamba for a number of reasons, which we will talk about. But yeah, I'm back here in Plaza Metropolitana. Beautiful plaza in the center of Cochabamba. So we're going to look around here again, see what else is going on, and I'll tell you why, in the dark, I'll tell you why I think Cochabamba is a fantastic city. And not just for tourists, but for digital nomads. So the last part of this video, I'm going to go to the north of Cochabamba, where I have been staying, and we'll talk about digital nomadism in more detail. So let's have another look around this lovely plaza. This is it's called Casa Departamento de las Culturas. I was here a week ago with my friend, looking around. Here's the national flag of Bolivia. They actually have two. There's the national flag and the kind of indigenous people's flag here, which have dual status. And if we come through here, I like this building. Beautiful old building here. Oh, gracias. This is also an old governmental building here, this lovely stained glass roof. 1841 it says up there. It's just a government building. Yeah, I was here a week ago and let's turn around. I was here a week ago and the plaza was full of the ladies of Bolivia, known as cholitas, who are the indigenous ladies who wear these nice wide-brimmed hats and these frilly skirts and tights. And I thought they were just hanging out, but it turns out they were actually having a kind of sit-down protest. I made a very short video with my camera phone. Maybe I'll edit it in around now. Main plaza of Cochabamba. But today they're not here. It's just a regular Friday afternoon. See some old shops here. And first I'm gonna have a little walk just to the south here. Some interesting streets to check out. So yeah, why am I still here after 2 weeks? Well, I went to Toro straight after my previous video for 2 nights. Enjoyed that. There's a separate video all about Toro National Park you can check out. And on the walk down the canyon, which is about 1,000 steps, I kind of sprained my knee a bit at the bottom, so I decided I should take it easy for a couple of weeks. I'm fine to walk around, but I'm not sure I should be walking any proper mountains up in the La Paz region until it's better, in case something goes wrong and I'm stuck up a mountain gasping for oxygen. And that's one excuse. The second is to catch up on work, as always. Nearly there, not quite. I got a nice Airbnb in the north of the town, which we'll look at later. And I also thought if I continue further north up into La Paz, that means I'll be working from home in a cold apartment building. It's going to be much colder here in La Paz than here right now. It goes down to about 0 at night there at the moment. But here in the middle of the afternoon, it's like beautiful 25 degrees or something. It goes down to about 5 at night. But yeah, it's really comfortable during the day, certainly. One thing to bear in mind is that in Bolivia they don't use heating in their houses so much. So at night you just have to wrap up warm. So I decided it'd be better to stay here and catch up with work rather than in La Paz or somewhere else high up in the mountains. And this is, yeah, the beautiful Plaza Metropolitana, the 14th of September. Just to change into English there. And the main cathedral of the city right here. That time is wrong. It should be just gone 3 o'clock, not 5. I just watched Spain versus Germany in the quarterfinal. Right now it's France versus Portugal. They are already playing. I'm going to try and catch the second half somewhere. And then we turn around. This is central Cochabamba. Cochabamba is the it's the third biggest city in the country. If you group La Paz and El Alto together, as I do, as they're right next to each other. Second city is Santa Cruz, where I was before this. Therefore Cochabamba is the third biggest. This little alleyway there. And it's in between the first and the second, so it could be said to be the real heartland of Andean Bolivia. And it's about 2,500 meters high, so they call it the city of eternal spring of Bolivia. Temperatures are always rather pleasant all year round. Right now it's the dry season, so we haven't had a drop of rain the whole time I've been here. Blue sunny skies every day. Who's this guy? I love this little street here. It's quite unusual to have a little pedestrianised streets with trees. In Latin American cities, they're usually open for cars on the grid system, but here it's a nice little kind of European feel about it. This fountain in the middle. Hang on, I was here last week. There was a market somewhere we should have a look at. Where is that? I'm sure you can see. I think it was this way. Mercado. I think it's just up here somewhere. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it right there. Fruit for sale. And we can come in this way quickly. I hate shopping, but actually I could do with buying a long sleeve shirt because I have committed to leaving here finally on Monday. I'll talk about that later, but I am flying to Rurembaka in the Amazon, so I could do with a long sleeve shirt to keep the sun and the mosquitoes off me. Whether I buy one or not is a different question. Can we get through here? So, clothes for sale. Oops. Bathroom, wrong way. Can I get through here? Okay, here we are, into the main room. Entrada Mercado 25 de Mayo. I love naming things after important dates here. Wow. It's got your Bolivian meat, which is always very good in my experience. Beautiful old market, fresh market. Stripey bits, fruit. Potatoes. This is the home of the potato, of course, and the tomato. Tomato, if you're American. Just so you understand. Bottled spices, condiments. There you go. Little piggy there, just to remind you what you... Out we go. Right, I'm going to continue south. I haven't been all the way down here, but I know there is a lake down there, which we're going to go check out now. Okay, so I have just walked south from the main plaza here to this glorious looking lake, or what remains of it. It's a bit dry, and from here we can see some glorious views. This is looking north to the Andes. Got the statue of Jesus on this hill up there, which I haven't been to yet. And here is one of the remaining lakes of Cochabamba. Cochabamba is actually named after these lakes. Cocha means lake in Quechua, and Bamba is similar to Pampas, which is the open plains region. So I believe this area was once covered by more lakes in this kind of flat valley area surrounded by the mountains, hence the name Cochabamba. And the people are called Cochabambinos or Cochabambinas, which is also the coolest word you're going to hear all day. And from here absolutely stunning views, giving you a sense of what the place looked like before the city. Looking south this way, we can see that we are moving into the poorer parts of the city. And they rise up the hills all the way down there. So yeah, let's have a look. As you can see, these buildings are generally unfinished, just leaving the open brickwork with no plastering. This is my second trip to Bolivia. I was here 4 years ago in March 2020, just as COVID was arriving, and I visited a uni, Potosi, Sucre, and then La Paz, Santa Cruz on the way out. And I remember in Potosi, somebody told me that the buildings are all unfinished like this because you actually pay less tax if you leave your building unfinished than if you finish the building. That was explained as the reason why all the buildings are left looking like this. I'm not sure if that is the case in Cochabamba also, but it might explain it. Or maybe they're just poor here and can't afford to finish their houses. Right, let's have a closer look in a moment. So I have just crossed the road and I'm walking north again. You know, I'm walking north because this is the southern hemisphere and the sun is in my eye. And heading back up in towards that market area. Show you this edge of the poorer part of town. Sort of sad looking dead cat there. So yeah, Bolivia is one of the poorest countries in South America, rating low on most socio-economic indicators, but it's still quite pleasant if you've got a bit of money in your pocket, as most travellers here will do if they're coming from other regions of the world. But yeah, for the most of the locals, life is not all fun and games. Markets here. Yes, they love their soft drinks here. Soft meaning they have a lot of sugar in them. Some of my idiot friends, they say to me, "Hey, you're in Bolivia, you must be doing loads of cocaine." I say, "No, I'm not." They say, "Well, what about the locals? They must be doing loads of cocaine there." And I say, "No, they're not, probably. They do like the coca leaf in some areas, but as far as I'm aware, they're not all snorting white powder." However, that's not to say they don't love their coke, because they do. However, the coke they like to consume, it's black and in liquid form, comes in large plastic bottles, originally from the United States of America. They do consume the stuff in large quantities. Every meal, there's more of it there. 3-litre bottles, full sugar Coke and other sugary drinks, which is not so good for your health. But yeah, they're drinking it like it's the fucking 80s in the US. Still very popular here. So with that in mind, it could be said there's a kind of Pan-American cocaine cycle going on. A cocaine cycle, that's right. It could be said there is a Pan-American Coke cycle going on. The North selling to the South, and the South selling to the North. Same name, different product. Right. Here we are back in the south of the city centre. This beautiful market. Wow. Okay, here we are, still in the streets of Cochabamba market, and yeah, these streets are weirdly reminding me of Phnom Penh in Cambodia. Certainly Phnom Penh like 10 years ago before the skyscrapers went up. Certain rustic charm. A lot of the centre of Phnom Penh was built by French during their colonial era. This would be Spanish, so not a million miles away in that regard, though yes, it is on the other side of the world from here. Some more street life for you. Not entirely sure which direction I'm walking now, but it's all good. More markets. And the second half of France versus Portugal has just begun, I saw. I should probably try to find someone to watch that. If Portugal lose, that will possibly be the last important game in the illustrious career of Cristiano Ronaldo. So I'd like to be there to taste these Portuguese tears if they go out. But we don't know yet. They could win. They could go on to win the whole tournament, in which case he could retire an even bigger legend than he already is. Let's see if I can find somewhere to watch it. In the meantime, still in Bolivia. Copacabana is the name of that shop, and also a town on the Bolivian side of Lake Titicaca, where I will be heading fairly soon. Yeah, the other day I confirmed my booking to Ren Baca. I may have said that wrong, but it's the kind of Bolivian gateway into the Amazon. And to the north of here, I found the direct flights going from Cochabamba there, but not back, so I thought perhaps I should take the opportunity to go there while it's easy and avoid these long mountain roads on buses, which can be a bit hairy, dangerous. So yeah, on Monday I'm going into the edge of the Amazon jungle for a week. Looking forward to that. It's also going to be the dry season, so quite a good opportunity to see the Amazon without getting soaking wet, as is normally the case if you go into the Amazon further north in Peru or Ecuador or Colombia, or of course Brazil. And the other advantage from there is that it's also on the edge of the Pampas, so you can do like 2 tours from one central location, going to the Amazon jungle and the Pampas, which are the kind of flat regions with a lot of waterways and wildlife you can see there. So there will be a separate video about that once I've done it. Back in central Cochabamba. It's all handy. Some smartly attired gentleman there. Toto. Toto is a famous Colombian bag brand with a lot of outlets all over the region. I know because my second bag, which contains my laptop, is a Toto bag I bought in Colombia 3 years ago and is still going strong. here we are. Okay, we must be in the real historical centre here. It's old buildings. Okay, we're walking north again, I think. Can we cross? Okay. It's Friday today. I wanted to come here today while it's busy. Fried chicken. Buy your own trophy. Participation prizes. Hotel Las Vegas. Look at that. It's kind of reminding me that I haven't stayed in a kind of a grungy city center hotel in a Latin American city for a long time. That is something I should definitely rectify soon, just for old time's sake. And yeah, another of these little pedestrian streets. Very charming. Oh, hang on, we've been here before, haven't we? Okay, I know where we are. Perhaps this is in fact the only charming pedestrian street in the city. So, if we come back out here, we are therefore going to come back to the main plaza again. That is correct. There it is. 30 seconds have passed and I've crossed the road, and just to prove myself wrong, we are going to walk down this other pedestrian street that I saw earlier, just to check that out. This is the back end of the cathedral. Money exchange, which reminds me, if you come here with US dollars, the official rate currently is about 6.9 Bolivianos to the dollar. However, if you come here with crispy fresh US dollars, in some of these places you can actually get a much better rate. I got 9 to the dollar the other day with some dollars that I had brought with me from the UK. So a little tip for you there. So yeah, there are more than one beautiful, charming pedestrian street. And as I came in, I saw this little cafe up here. And yes, they are showing the game. So I guess I will take a little break and see who is the winner. By the way, before this I was watching Spain-Germany, and I was thinking, it seemed like everyone was cheering on Spain, but I wasn't too sure. I saw a goal from both sides and it was pretty much a 50-50 split between Germany and Spanish supporters. And as you can see, the game is ongoing. What is the score? It's 0-0. Okay, let's see what happens. So, yeah, Portugal just lost. France won. So it's time to carry on. Back into the plaza. Protest. Bolivians for Gaza. That's enough football for one day. More to come tomorrow. Now we are continuing north into Plazuela, Colón. Wow. Golden retriever running towards me. The friendliest of all the dogs, fortunately. Let's cross with the dog. And its owner, happy days. Yeah, Plazuela, Colón. Church. Hear the birds coming in after a hard day's work. Mind your heads. So yeah, this north side of the city centre is very charming as well. Building going up. Dinosaurs. This is the land of the dinosaurs after all, if you watch my Toro National Park video. And the land of pigeons. And we come over here. It's a charming little bridge. Better view of the plaza from here. It's getting a bit dark. And run up here. See how my knee is doing. I think I'm good for a few stairs. Not sure about the mountains though. And this leads to El Prado, this beautiful boulevard, we could call it, which runs north. And yeah, what a beautiful street this is. It's this Golden Gentleman, Club Social Cochabamba. Read that, you can find out more than me. See, they call this El Prado. I haven't been here in the night before actually, but it looks a bit glitzy, doesn't it? Tuesday, that's a chain. There's one of those in Queru Queru where I'm staying. I've watched a few of the England games in there. Maybe again tomorrow. Or buses going by. Cochabamba. Hope it's growing on you like it grew on me. City of surprises and delights, charms, nice weather, nice people, and food. We'll talk about food in a moment. Here he is again, the man, the myth, Simón Bolívar, libertador of 6 modern day nations directly, and of course the man whom they named this country after, Bolivia, although he was actually from what is now called Venezuela. It was called Venezuela then as well. Caracas. Come to the end of El Prado with these flags hoisted. Colours fading. And yeah, this is the kind of north end of the city centre. It comes to an end here on this highway. I will put the name of the highway in the subtitles. And then to the north of there, over there, is Queru Queru district, barrio. And then if you continue walking to the east, we come to Plaza Quintanilla here. There's a mall over here. And we get a nice sunset view of the Andes to the north. And just up there in the center, over the highway, which I now know is highway number 4, we can see Queru Queru. But it's getting a little bit dark, so yeah, let's save this for tomorrow. New day, new shirt, and we are standing, however, at the same place we left off yesterday. We're going to cross the road and continue north. So coming from the city centre, we're at this big cinema here. And we are going to cross over Highway 4 to give you the full experience of entering Queru Queru. Yeah, down there, that goes to the west. There's some little stores there. There's a sports bar there, a factory. And we're gonna run over here. Some roundabouts with a fountain. I'm staying further up north there. We'll go there in a moment. First, I just want to have a quick look at the boulevard here. For the zebra crossing. Usually a good idea. Over we go. So yeah, this is the boulevard. But having now come to Casa de Campo and other restaurants, I can confirm that yes, this is the center of Bolivian cuisine in the country, and the portions are huge. What is Bolivian cuisine, you may be asking? I wasn't sure myself because in Santa Cruz I couldn't really find any. I was mostly eating international options and some Argentinian steaks. But here is the kind of cultural heart of Bolivia and its cuisine. I think I've got a couple of photos of meals I had here. I'll put them up around about now. So yeah, the piques are popular. Piques are when they kind of usually have a bed of very large cut potatoes or French fries covered with meat, vegetables, usually onions, some chili, gravy or cheese, and they're usually shared by people. They're very popular all over South America, in fact, often in pubs, and they got a lot of meat as well. Some nice, really wholesome kind of natural corn you saw in one of the previous photos. I had a spicy soup in another restaurant. Perhaps I'll put some more photos up now. To differentiate them from this place. So yeah, it's certainly filling. Oh, one more thing I would recommend, whose name I can't remember, is this kind of white glutinous rice side dish that is often served with the meat. Somebody called it like a risotto. It's similar to risotto, but it's just white but very flavoursome. I'm not sure what they cook it with, but it's very pleasing. Right, so yeah, there's bars down here, Ibiza bar, but yeah, we're going to go further north to where I'm staying in Queru Queru and talk a bit more about why I think this is a fantastic place to stay for a while if you're a digital nomad. And when you are in Queru Queru, you should definitely take a visit to this place, which looks very much like an old European palace, because that is what it is influenced by. And these beautiful gardens. And here is the main building. It's called Palacio Portales, on Google Maps at least. I believe it was built in the early 20th century, so it's not that old, but it is certainly beautiful. Gives you a little taste of South Europe here in the middle of a Bolivian city. So yeah, it's quite a unique feeling to see such a place as this in the middle of Bolivia. I'm not sure. I tried to come here before and I couldn't get in. I believe if there are tours in the morning or perhaps a wedding reception going on by the looks of it. And there is a cafe at the back there which is open all day. So yeah, definitely check this out. If you want a coffee, you want to check out a palace, or perhaps if you're getting married as well. Further up the road here, sports store if you need anything on your travels. Although, it must be said, it is not cheap for all these imported products to come with a hefty price tag. Probably costing more than they would in my country. But yeah, even more so in Argentina where I was before. So if you want some cheap stuff, you're better off in local clothing stores and markets. Here we have a Hooper Mall, local mall. I did a mall video in Santa Cruz, so I think we can skip that one. And yeah, more cafes. And further up at the end of the street is a very large Icy Norte supermarket. It's a bit far up the end there. That is very cheap on the other hand. You can get lots of delicious things there, such as fruit, for very cheap prices. Very good stuff as well. So yeah, hope you're getting an idea of Queru Queru, one of the main streets here, running north. Chinese food. There is actually quite a large Chinese community here. I'm not sure how long they've been in the country, how many generations, but you'll see quite a few Chinese living here in Bolivia. Okay, we are now at the top of that road. This is Avenida America, which runs east and west through Queru Queru. Behind me we can see this huge Norte supermarket. Lots of nice cheap things on sale there if you're staying in the area. And we're going to have a little walk up the road here to give you an idea of what your digital nomad life could be like in Cochabamba. Here we have an advert for Ballet de Georgia in Bolivia. It's an amazing world. Oh, and down there is a Tuesday bar. I watched quite a few of the England games, especially in the Euros, which are still ongoing. It's 2 days ago, England got through to the semi-finals on penalties, which was quite something. So yeah, it's down to the semi-final stage in the Euros. However, I'm probably going to miss the next game because I will probably be in the jungle. So anyway, we're walking behind the back of Icy Norte supermarket. The sun is shining. This is Donal Family Center, family-oriented restaurant. They got like a huge kids play area and a pool there. I've had a few meals there, serving nice traditional Bolivian things. I'll put a little video of what I ate there right about now. This beast of a meal is a silpancho, one of the national dishes of Bolivia. In case you're wondering, it is very finely battered meat with rice and some plantain underneath. And it's gone. Coming into this kind of residential high-end area of Queru Queru. And you'll see all these nice high-rise apartments here. They all seem to be pretty much brand new. I'm staying in one of these, so we'll have a little look around to give you an idea of what your daily life might be like if you're into the digital nomad lifestyle. As you can see here, got this nice tree-lined bicycle path which also runs east to west through the area. That is west. No, that was east. This is west. So yeah, you can put your bike up and down here. If only I had a bike. Oh, and here's a ice cream van. Helados Pompeia. So far, dollar. Right. So yeah, see the digital nomad thing is a popular lifestyle for a lot of people these days. Working online, hence the digital part, and traveling around, which is the nomad part. For myself, I kind of do it some of the time. For instance, on this trip, which has only been 2.5–3 months, I've been kind of more nomading than traveling, because I've got a few things to do, such as catch up on my writing, which I'm nearly there with, and I've just started making these videos as well, which is all quite new to me. So yeah, on this trip, let me think, I was in Cordoba. I literally had 2 nights away in Villa Carlos Paz, and I was in Buenos Aires. I came to Santa Cruz in Bolivia, again literally 2 nights away in Samaipata, and now I've been in Cochabamba for at least 2 weeks, with 2 nights away in Toro National Park. So yeah, it's safe to say, based on that, I've been more nomading than traveling on this trip. So I've been looking for a nice, comfortable place to stay and work in a nice area that's comfortable, convenient, as well as giving you a bit chance to kind of enjoy local culture. And here we are on my street, which has got this beautiful park running along it. Just for reference, it is called Park Fidel Anze. Runs a long way down there to the east. There are loads of coffee shops going all the way down there and more apartment buildings. It's obviously a bit of a shishi neighborhood. And yeah, I am staying in this building here, which goes up, 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 up. So yeah, let's take a look inside and see. On the ground floor here, we have a empty, quiet co-working space. And here is the interior of the apartment I've been renting on Airbnb for the last couple of weeks. It's very modern, it's small, but very functional and comfortable. And my favorite bit about it is the view from up here. So yeah, we're looking south over the whole of Cochabamba. As you can see, the hill with a statue of Jesus is just over there. If I put my arm out, you might just see it. I hope at some point soon I will catch up and speed things up and then get more into the traveling. I must admit, you know, staying in a nice Airbnb, you can sometimes get into the opportunity or stroke danger of falling into a bit of a comfort zone. Staying in a nice place, you got your bathroom and your kitchen and your nice bed and everything, and sometimes the thought of getting back out on the road and getting your knees dirty isn't quite so appealing. But I will definitely get back into the travel thing sooner rather than later. And despite being here for over 2 weeks, I've only just figured out that there is this absolutely beautiful rooftop garden on this building. Look at that. That is looking north into the higher Andes. Up here in Queru Queru, north side of Cochabamba. Got beautiful textures on the mountains there. More ice cream vans. And yeah, it's beautiful rooftop here. There's a little kitchen area. I stayed in a similar place to this in Santa Cruz as well, in Equipetrol district. So yeah, this is what I would definitely call a rather unknown, lesser known hotspot, potential hotspot for the future for digital nomad lifestyle. And there we have the hill with the statue of Jesus up there, looking back onto central Cochabamba. So based purely on my 2 stays and Airbnb searches in 2 cities in Bolivia on this trip, seems to be a bit of a new trend. These modern apartment buildings are geared up for people living a digital nomad lifestyle, or wishing to rent to those people at least. So yeah, I would certainly recommend Cochabamba as a great place to do so. It's a very beautiful climate, safe, cheap, very laid back, and a great place to kind of explore South America here in the heart of the Andes. So, signing out from here, Cochabamba. So yeah, I was actually supposed to leave today, but the gods had other plans for me. My flight to Nuremberg was cancelled due to bad weather there. So here I am back in Cochabamba for 2 more nights, which gave me the time to come here. The statue of Christ on the hill and these views of the beautiful city of Cochabamba.